American director Darren Aronofsky fell in love with showbiz as a child, then became interested in filmmaking while attending Harvard University. His first movie, 1998's Pi, was self-financed and became a huge success. He followed it with two more well-received indies, Requiem for a Dream and The Fountain.
I think, for me, Pi, Requiem, and The Fountain were definitely a body of work, and they were very related to each other, even though I hope they all have very different visual languages, but I do perceive them as a trilogy. And if Madonna taught us anything, it's that you need to reinvent yourself. So I was looking to try and do something new.
But it was 2008's The Wrestler that really made him a household name.
I think the whole project started with, I was just curious why no one had really made a serious film about wrestling. I mean, boxing is basically a genre on itself. There's so many movies that are about boxing, but no one had ever looked at wrestling, and I think it's because they thought it was a joke, but the more you look into it, the more you realize that there is a sport involved.
The movie earned Academy Award nominations for stars Mickey Rourke and Marissa Tomei, and Aronofsky followed it up by directing Natalie Portman to an Oscar win in the ballet drama Black Swan.
When I started to think about doing Black Swan after The Wrestler, I very much saw them very related to each other, because the more I looked into the world of ballet, I actually started to see all these similarities to the world of wrestling. They both have these performers that use their bodies in sort of extremely intense physical ways, and their entire performance is based off of their physicality. And so I very much always connected them as kind of companion pieces.
Darren's next film had his biggest budget yet, an action-packed take on the biblical story of a man and his boat, Noah.
It's filled with action, the actual story in the Bible. It's the deluge, it's the end of the world. It's a first apocalypse story, and it talks about, everyone besides the people on the ark and the animals on the ark being wiped off the earth. It is a true story about good versus evil, and how good and evil lives inside all of us. So I think, blending, a big sort of action film with this family drama is something new and different for audiences.
A few years later, though, the director returned to small projects with the very personal, if bizarre, movie Mother.
It was a strange experience. Most of my films take many, many years to come to life. Black Swan was 10 years, Noah was 20 years, and this film happened in 5 days, and it was a strange thing. And I think it came out of, living on this planet and sort of seeing what's happening around us and not being able to do anything. And I just had a lot of rage and anger, and I just wanted to sort of channel it into one emotion, into one feeling. And in 5 days, I wrote the first version of the script, and it just sort of poured out of me.
Noah and Mother were both a bit controversial, as was his next movie, the intimate 2022 drama The Whale. But love his films or hate them, one thing's for sure, the work of Darren Aronofsky always inspires a strong reaction, one way or another.
For me, audiences are very sophisticated, and when you go see a blockbuster, usually the complaint by the end of the summer is how all the blockbusters are exactly the same and everyone's complaining. But when you put out something that's different and new, people are like, wow, that's different and new, and either they like that or they complain that it's too different and new. So you can't win all the time. I just try to do what I like to do and surprise audiences and supply something that's very different and entertaining.